Hello, my name is Matt Rubio, and I am the leader for the Drone Administered Disaster Assistance Project. Our first flight on the 7th of September utilized a 2200 milliamp hour battery for initial flights. The battery itself was started at 100% and drained down to about 10% by the end of this flight. Flight time itself was about 5 minutes. This was done at McAllister Park in Lafayette, Indiana. And the weather this day was very windy, gusts to about 13 miles per hour, and about a steady breeze of 2 miles per hour was enough to keep the quadcopter from being able to hold at a point using an external transmitter.
Yeah.
This was to test the manual flight capabilities of the quadcopter itself. As you can see, there's a little bit of wiggle in the quadcopter itself. This was due, as the team found out later, to the counterclockwise prop axis being slightly imbalanced between the two motors.
Have a viewfinder.
Ben, just try to hold it at altitude.
I know. It's
Team also found it very tough to record shots very close to the quadcopter since it was very hard to maintain one steady position. You can hear that buzzing right there. And that is the sound of the motors trying to compensate for one another on the counterclockwise axis,
like
we think.
5 minutes, right?
roughly.
All right, you have 219 gone.
Is that including the last one?
No, yeah, I've been counting everything.
We did do multiple landing and takeoff cycles with the quadcopter itself. The quadcopter in the air was the real data that the team needed to record.
Yeah, try to make it land in the middle of the circle. Challenge, Ben. I believe in you. It actually goes like, it looks like it responds a lot stronger than the other one.
Since the 2200 milliamp hour battery is much lighter, the quadcopter itself is a little more jumpy.
3 minutes and a half, Ben.
This allows us to gain altitude and sink decently quickly.
Tell you at 4:30.
Yep.
And it also means the throttle does not have to be held nearly as hard. The 4500 milliamp hour battery is a bit more of a beast.
There we go.
It was much heavier than the 2200 milliamp hour battery initially used, although it was somewhat smaller and packed charge more efficiently. Again, you can see the wiggle present, but not until we gained altitude with the quadcopter itself.
It looks like you have better control of it.
I know, but I'm getting used to it. Throttle.
More what? It's a tad bit jittery though.
Just a little bit.
Jittery. Yeah.
You can see it's still very jittery on the counterclockwise propeller axis.
You see what I mean, right?
Yeah, I see something.
This was observed a lot by the team because internal PID loops will need to be adjusted in order to mitigate this issue. And that will be done in the autonomous flight, whereas these were manual flight tests. The next tests are expected to include at least some parts of the newer manual to autonomous code that the team will write, which allows a user to switch from manual to autonomous using an external transmitter and let the quadcopter complete a mission in autonomous
We're
mode.
approaching 3 minutes. Ben, may I suggest a test?
Landing?
No, we still have time. I'm saying go up and down.
Now the 4500 milliamp hour battery, since it's
don't
more
do
than
that.
twice the 2200 version, should give us twice the flight time. However, the battery itself is much heavier, and that counting in, the flight time was just a little bit less than twice.
But I remember, I'm the one flying this, and it's taking everything I got.
And 4 minutes. Haven't heard any beeping, so we're good.
The beeping Eduardo is referring to in the video is the beeping that happens from the external battery monitor circuit, which will tell us when the battery is getting to 15 and then 10%. At 10%, as a safety margin, it's usually good to put the quadcopter down. The team experimented with this for both batteries, and thus the nominal flight times are given as the time it takes for the battery to go from 100% charge to around 10% charge.
Pretty good, well.
As you see, it's very difficult to get a correct landing speed with such a heavy battery that hasn't been tested as much as of yet. We were trying to land it on the asphalt surface of the actual takeoff pad that is used by fixed-wing aircraft.
Oh, wow, that's actually extreme.
How long was he on the ground? What? How long was he on the ground?
Oh, I have time and
Oh, so you stopped it. Okay.
The team tried several takeoff and landing tests to ensure that the supports underneath the motors, which are carbon fiber, would hold in the event of a slightly fast impact. Of course, this does not account for the quadcopter simply falling out of the sky, but it does give some assurance that the frame itself will not break under not gentle loads.
Accelerating at the same rate, and they're trying to compensate for each other if it's getting a bad signal.
yeah.
Right?
Almost,
So
yeah. You can see
it's
it's
bringing
on
this
the,
one high and then this one high, and that's giving you your oscillation.
yeah, it's on the 1-3 axis.
Yeah.
As you can hear from Ben Clennon, you can clearly tell that the counterclockwise prop axis is having difficulty keeping the two motors in sync and at enough power level for each side that it's stabilizing the quadcopter perfectly, which is why you see a lot of wiggling still happening at the 4,500 milliamp hour battery, even though that battery is much heavier. In fact, the oscillations by the team's eyes seem to be even more violent with the heavier battery.
Yeah, it lasts a whole lot longer. Although you have to take into account that we have to check how much battery has left, because we can't be that close to the critical distance.
I know.
What's it, 2 beeps?
That means quick turnover draw means we're getting close.
So Ben Hilker could hear the beeping of the battery monitor telling him he was at 15%. This pretty much concluded our test. We landed in the next few seconds here when we heard the battery monitor start getting furious at the 10% warning.
8
Yeah,
minutes.
we're losing power. I'm gonna land it.
So please check out our website for the rest of the project data. This project is expected to be completed during fall 2015 for the Purdue University EC 477 Senior Design class. Please follow our website for more information. Thank you for watching.